Hey everyone, I'm Ellen here at etrailer.Com. Today we're taking a look at the Pacer Performance High 5 LED Truck Cab Light Kit. Now this is going to be styled after the 1988 through 2002 Chevy and GM factory roof lights. So this gives us that big rig look on our truck, helps to add a little bit of extra visibility for our other passengers out on the road, especially in inclement weather, rain, fog, snow, things like that. Helps other drivers to see us as we're coming down the highway. Now these do come with everything you see laid out here on the table. They are going to have our lights with the lens and then this rubber foot. And I already have one of the sockets in place. This is basically how you want it to be wired up. There are two little holes that your wires will come out of at the bottom there, and then you just kind of have to coax this little guy into that rubbery part. The boot is pretty flexible, and these also have a little bit of flex, so it's a little tricky to get it all the way seated in there, so that's why I did it off camera, just to save us a little bit of time today. This comes with LED bulbs and our incandescent bulbs, so you can really use either one. I would definitely suggest using the incandescents since they're going to be longer lasting, typically a little bit brighter at least, and use a little less energy as well, so we have less draw on our system. I'm going to push this into the socket so we can look at what it looks like whenever it's all installed. The red wire is going to go to power. Black wire goes to ground, which is the little black wire coming off of there, the ring terminal. Turn on my power source, and if it doesn't light up at first, it might not be seated all the way in there, or it is polarity sensitive, so we might have to take it out and flip it around. So that's what I'm going to do here. Just flip it 180 degrees, pop it back in there, turn it on, there we go. Always a good idea to check that before you get everything installed, makes things easier. So you can see inside our housing, it's not going to be super bright, but we don't want to blind anybody out on the road. It's just adding a little bit of extra lights to the top of our vehicle. I really can only show you one light lit up at a time, so I'm sorry that it doesn't have all of them lit up all at once, but you can use your imagination there. I'm going to turn out the lights in the studio, give you a little better idea of what that looks like in the dark. So again, not super duper bright, but enough to get the idea as you're going out on the road. Now this kit has the lens, or the smoke lens, so that's going to be a darker lens for those trucks that want to kind of have that murdered out look, or that all black look, maybe Batman look, depending on how you want to look at it. So if you wanted to replace your original lights with these, great option. Maybe add a new kit into a different vehicle, whatever the case might be. Turn that off there. Unhook my wiring, and then we can talk about what else comes in our kit. So the way that this is designed to work is that we'll have one wire going between all of our lights. So the quick splice connectors work pretty well to help you to do that, since you can lay that wire in the housing there and then clamp in the next one so it can keep that continuous stream going. Normally I would tell you to opt out or to switch those out for some butt connectors, but in this instance, since especially we're not making that connection outside of our vehicle, it should work out just fine. You do need to probably drop the headliner in your vehicle to get the wiring in place, since a lot of it's going to be inside the vehicle. You might actually be able to wire it a little bit differently, maybe just up around the front of your headliner, so you might only need to tuck a little bit out of the way. But just that's something to keep in mind there. We do get a fuse with our system. So if we undo this, this is actually going to be two wires. We'll have our fuse, which is kind of a shorter piece, that little terminal on the end, which connects to our switch. The other longer wire also has a terminal, goes to the other side of our switch. And this is that wire that connects between all of our lights. So it is going to be fuse protected. We do get a switch so we can operate this independent of our factory lights, which is nice because then you don't have to worry about wiring into your vehicle's lighting and voiding any warranties or anything like that. Also comes with the hardware to mount each light, some rubber O-rings to provide water protection around the head of those screws, screws to mount our switch in place in our dash. So you'll basically just mount it like that with both screws going up into your dash, probably underneath, somewhere within reach, but not obstructing your view and not causing any issues with getting to your gas and brake pedals. That's pretty much all that comes with it, and pretty much all you need to get it done. So should be pretty straightforward install. You'll want to make sure that you measure twice, drill once. You do have to do some drilling to get those holes drilled out for your hardware to come through. As far as the overall size of our lights, it's about 5 3/4 inches long, and then about 2 7/8 inches wide, and overall about 1.5 inches tall with that rubber boot in place. All our lights are going to be the same. This is available in a clear lens and an amber lens. If you'd like to get that instead, you can find those right here at etrailer.com. Thanks for watching, and that's going to do it for our look at the Pacer Performance High 5 LED truck cab light kit for Chevy and GM trucks.